Once the ovum reaches the oviduct, its major site and most common site of fertilization work will occur in the ampulla. Overall, the oviduct is a muscular tube that's about 12 centimeters in length. As we said, one end opens and extends laterally to the uterine wall to open and become continuous with the uterine lumen. The other opens into the peritoneal cavity next to the ovary. After the uterine tube receives the ovum from the ovary, basically the oviduct provides an appropriate environment, particularly in its ampulla, to transport that ovum, fertilized or not, along its length to the uterus. The infundibulum opens into the peritoneal cavity, as we say. It receives the ovum. Fimbria basically extend from the end of the tube and help envelop the site of ovulation to direct the ovum into the uterine tube. The ampulla, being the longest segment of the oviduct, is also the most clinically significant part of it. Number one, as we point out at the bottom of this slide, it's the most common site where fertilization takes place. This section, obviously, is a view of the oviduct with its highly folded mucosa that is lined by simple columnar epithelium. And underlying it are various layers of smooth muscle indicated by the presence of the arrow. Ciliary action of these columnar epithelial cells is not essential because we have muscular contractions that aid the transport of the ovum, fertilized or not, through the length of the oviduct. As we said, the other claim to fame of the ampulla is that it is the most common site not only of fertilization, but it's also the most common site of an ectopic implantation. This obviously results in partial development of the fertilized ovum, but in time the tube will prove to be too thin and the developing embryo cannot survive. The vascular placental tissues that have penetrated the thin wall typically result in brisk bleeding into either the lumen of the tube or into the adjacent peritoneal cavity when the tube bursts.